I'm not sure I had this on my bingo card for 2024, but it appears that former MMA fighter, the notorious Conor McGregor, is running to be President of Ireland. A Vice article writes, Conor McGregor is running for President of Ireland. Unfortunately. Already nailing their colours to the mast right there in the headline. I would have all the answers the people of Ireland seek from those thieves of the common man, said McGregor. Continuing to pull no punches, if you pardon the pun, Vice go on to write, another day, another egotistical meathead who thinks he has what it takes to run the country. Retired MMA star Conor McGregor was poised to make a UFC comeback, but has cancelled those plans instead to run for President of Ireland in 2025. I'm just going to read a little bit more of the article, then I'm going to give you my opinions on why this is happening, how this happened, and actually how I think it's going to end up. The 36-year-old McGregor announced on social media his plans to run for president after expressing his discontent with Ireland's current political establishment. He called himself the only logical choice to lead the nation. If the only logical choice to lead your nation is a guy who made a living getting punched in the head, your nation is in bad shape. So I'll leave the article there, but let me give my take on this. And I think that last line there, the nation being in bad shape, is absolutely critical. Sorry to interrupt the video. Only 5% of the people who watch these videos regularly are actually subscribed. If you don't mind just hitting that subscribe button, it's completely free. There's no obligation. You can unsubscribe at any time and there would be no hard feelings from me. There's also a link in the description below if you fancy buying me a pint. It says buy me a coffee, but a pint's much better, isn't it? Particularly on a warm day like today. Anyway, back to the video. And we see it here in the UK as well. People are absolutely sick of being ignored by the establishment. People are fed up and frustrated at their genuine concerns on significant issues that affect them and affect their lives and their families being ignored by the ruling and elite classes. Now, in the UK, as it is in Ireland, one of the biggest issues people have at the moment is immigration. And despite repeated protests here and in Ireland, which seem to have gone mainly unreported in the mainstream media, certainly here in the UK, we know there were big protests in Dublin recently which received absolutely no mainstream exposure over here whatsoever. Despite these protests, people's genuine concerns are being ignored, people are being tarred as racist, and over here at least, people are being locked up for merely expressing their views, even if they do it in a somewhat distasteful way at times. So people look for figureheads, people look for people with voices that purport to represent them as just normal working class people. Conor McGregor, to some extent, and for all his flaws and his fading popularity, he is a representative of a working man come good. And dare I say, he is actually liable to garner a few votes. Thankfully not enough to actually gain presidency. However, the very fact that there are people who probably will vote for Conor McGregor and not just fans of him as an MMA fighter does go to show the absolute state that the political establishment is in. We are consistently looking for someone here in the UK and in Ireland who actually goes out and says it as it is, who actually purports to represent the things that the working man cares about. If you stopped the average Brit in the street and asked them the things they cared about, they're likely to say the cost of living crisis, immigration, taxation. So if you get someone like Conor McGregor come out and say, I'll sort immigration out for you, I'll get the cost of living crisis under control, I'll make sure taxes are cut, I'll pump more money into the health service and to education, then people are liable to vote for them. The problem is, of course, that sometimes these people with a significant platform and a voice don't have any of the underpinning skills or experience to actually run a country. It's all very well and good saying I'm going to come out and do this and do that and reduce taxes and cut immigration, etc., etc. But without the knowledge and means of how that's going to be done effectively, it's completely futile. What he does, however, is show people's disdain and distrust in the established political parties. If someone like Conor McGregor, who, as Vice rightly pointed out, is famous for punching and getting punched, more of the former than the latter traditionally, it really is two fingers up at the establishment and basically saying, look, we would rather put our faith in a guy who has absolutely no experience or credentials for running a country than we would in you lot that have all got your noses in the trough and you're all basically left of centre regardless of what you claim your political position to be. We really saw this play out in the US with the election of Donald Trump as president. Now, unlike Conor McGregor, it's fairly safe to say that Donald Trump was far better established, far better set up and far better qualified in terms of his own personal attributes to becoming a leader of a country than Conor McGregor. He wasn't a career politician, he was a businessman, but he understood the feelings and the issues that the working man cared about. And he basically put himself on a pedestal and got the presidency off the back of those issues. Now, I'm far from qualified to be Prime Minister, and nor would I want to be. It's not very well paid considering the amount of stress it causes you, and I'm already going bald. But if I came out and said, I'm going to stop all illegal immigration, all boats, they're not coming anymore, if I'm going to limit legal immigration to people who are valuable to the country only, and obviously some genuine asylum seekers, genuine refugees, if I'm to cut people's taxes, reinstate the fuel allowance, I'm going to reduce the duty on fuel, I'm going to pump more money into education, and I'm going to sort out the NHS, then the chances are that people would blindly elect me on those policies, because these are the things people care about. The issue, of course, with that is that if I got into power, that I wouldn't have a bloody clue how to actually effectively implement any of those policies whatsoever. However, the very fact that in 2024, someone like Conor McGregor can run for presidency, and dare I say will get some votes, just goes to show the level of trust we have in the established political parties in carrying out the will of the people that they are elected to represent. What do you think? Let me know in the comments. Stay safe, stay sane.